doses of it. Like I go in the rest, like I go on Nick and Sam's and I get a little clap, but that's only 30 seconds. Like where's the rest? So I went to a concert one time and it was about 500,000 people that went to Tomorrowland in Atlanta. And that feeling came back. And I've been DJing since high school, since college. And I was like, I think I can do this because the concept of the DJ and the athlete should be the same. This is my concept. When a person pays money to see you perform, give them a good show.
What's good, y'all, man? Welcome back to Slum Network. You already know who it is. It's your boy Project Slumlord, king of the slum business, man. Slum Network Buns, man. Thank y'all for tuning back in to Slum Media, Slum Network, Slum Worldwide Media, whatever you want to call it. Just know everything's slum around here. And for this reaction we about to get into, man, it's a really good reaction that I feel, I kind of need it because I was going through kind of like similar situations of I don't like to say depression, but it's like I was going through some things, so I haven't been posting consistently lately. But this reaction is called The Price of Fame, the emotional toll of fame on celebrities. You get what I'm saying? See, you know how they deal with depression and whatever they going through as they go through and navigate the entertainment industry. Yeah, let's get into a deep dive and see, the emotional toll that they deal with, that they don't speak on, that we don't really know too much about as viewers and fans of these people. Let's tune in and dive in and see what they be, really having going on. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Family. Being muddy, that's just what I like. I be sipping on mud. Bitch, I come from the mud. Yeah.
How often do you still battle with depression?
Oh, I'm always depressed, all the time.
Do you feel that you're happier right now than when you were broke, or not really?
Sometimes.
I had to stop because I had everything and I was absolutely broken inside.
I so badly want to be Catherine Hudson that I don't even want to look like Katy Perry anymore sometimes.
Okay.
I don't want to be too dark, but
Didn't Katy Perry just go to the moon? Am I tripping? Didn't she go to the moon, y'all?
I genuinely didn't think I would like.
Or supposedly, I don't believe none of that's true, but wasn't she part of them 6 women? I think it was 6 women.
Make it to like 17.
You didn't think you'd make it to 17?
No.
From the outside, it looks like celebrities have the perfect life. But in reality, being an A-list celebrity absolutely sucks. Mental breakdowns, addictions, depression, bankruptcy, and sometimes even death. But why? Why is having what everyone else seems to want, money and fame, always seems to lead to disaster? When you're an A-list celebrity that everyone knows, you can pretty much say goodbye to going outside.
When you're in a coffee shop, everyone recognizes you, and it's not really a pleasant interaction typically for the celebrity because all they see is all these people bothering them for a photo. And it's not like these people genuinely want to take the time to get to know them. And we all know when we see a celebrity, we want to run up to them to get the photo. And so if all you're experiencing as a celebrity is like all these people just want to take something from you, which is...
Most of the time, I don't even be thinking that be the celebrities or like average people. I know sometimes it be fans, but if you're a celebrity and you feel a way about fans wanting pictures, people that actually idolize you, I think that's kind of creepy, but it's strange. But I could get and understand why they be tired of paparazzi. Paparazzi literally get paid to find where these celebrities be at and just violate their personal space, violate their privacy for big bucks. The more invasive of the privacy and more invasive of the personal space and get reactions, the more money that they get for just taking pictures. Like if they was just standing across the street taking pictures, getting paid big bucks for that, you wouldn't have a lot of these paparazzi camera people invading the celebrities' privacy and space. But it's the engagement. It's like when you see a Kanye going off. Now instead of just selling a photo to a magazine or something, now you can sell that video to TMZ. So I get, why they be feeling the way about people running up on them all day.
They just want to take the photo, they just want to sometimes get your number or whatever it might be. It's not a pleasant experience of dealing with human beings.
This is Arvid Ali, by the way. He's the former president of Jordan Belfort's companies. Yes, the real Wolf of Wall Street.
The way he said dealing with human beings, he said that like as if he something else. Like he's not a human being.
And he's the advisor that celebrities, pro athletes, politicians, and the ultra-rich go to when they want to grow their net worth. So he's been very up close and personal with A-list celebrities. At first, all this attention will seem exciting. You're gonna feel validated. All these random people want me. But after a while, it starts to wear you down. You can't escape it. Everywhere you go, everyone knows you and wants something from you. Every little thing you do is being scrutinized and videotaped. From the way you eat food, to the way you walk, to the time you spilled food on your shirt. You're always...
I mean, I could get that. I understand that. But these people, like the fans, like they're the reason why you are where you are. Like it's them.
Always on edge. You always have to make sure you're on your best behavior. You're not allowed to be in a bad mood.
Robert Pattinson explained what that's like in an interview with Premiere Magazine a couple years ago, and it does not sound great. He said that when he's in Los Angeles, he has about 40 seconds from the moment he arrives somewhere before somebody asks for his autograph.
And you can bet that every errand will turn into a Photoshop with strangers. To your fans, you're more like an object than an actual human being. Basic respect just goes out the door.
One time he had heart palpitations while on stage and had to be rushed to the hospital. As he's being carried in on a gurney, his nurse asks him to autograph his electrocardiogram sheet.
And then there's the paparazzi.
Yeah, them the real people. They aggravated.
The bottom feeders of the celebrity world, whose job it is to trigger you.
You can't see the cars. They got it. Get out of the way! I can't see! There are cars there, motherfucker! 50,000. No.
Just move away from my children, please.
Yeah, I'm not doing your children.
Do you mind?
Better keep your hands away from me.
I wasn't making...
So what's the solution? You literally just don't step foot outside. You spend your days trapped inside your home alone.
So naturally they end up just staying at home all day. Most of them, they're sitting on social media, watching videos, watching Netflix, playing video games.
Think about that. Humans were not meant to be locked inside alone in one location all day, every day. So naturally, as a celebrity, you're gonna get depressed and anxious.
90% of the time, they're just sitting at home all day. And, for anybody, it doesn't really matter who you are, it's very easy to become not only depressed and have anxiety, but just fundamentally your sense of belonging really sort of disappears. You really feel quite lonely, and you feel as though the only thing that people care about when it comes to you is being able to take a photo with you so that they can brag to their friends.
But Jake, that may be the case, but come on. Even though A-list celebrities have to stay inside all day, they've got to be hanging out with all the coolest friends, right? Wrong. Stay dangerous, subscribe for more, and this is why celebrities are always depressed.
So they just be lonely by themselves all the time. What's the point of the fame if you ain't enjoying it?
Knowing that I was living this lifestyle that they also wanted to live.
But what about all their old childhood friends, you ask? Well, those that get to the top were usually the weird ones growing up, so they probably didn't have many friends. Those that get to the top also had to be pretty neurotic and obsessive to get there. They had to grow a lot as a person. So even if they did have any old friends, you can bet that they probably outgrew them.
They have a friend here or there, that some sort. It's usually something related, family or family friend that they've known. But in terms of friends, where you hang out with your friends, I would say probably 99% of them have zero actual friends that they hang out with regularly.
But come on, the male celebrities have got to be banging all the hottest fangirls, right? Well, it's complicated.
You have to think about it from their perspective. Every single girl that you get with as a male celebrity is a risk. There's a significant risk that they're going to try to take a picture with you. They're going to try to use it against you somehow, and they want you ideally to become, their romantic partner. So they'll do whatever. Oftentimes they'll do whatever it takes to try to cause problems so that you can become a romantic partner of theirs.
But what about the exclusive celebrity parties, you ask? The ones with all those hot Instagram models? Another thing that's typically associated with celebrities is like they get to go to all these exclusive influencer celebrity parties. And from my understanding, you've been to some of them.
I've been to quite a lot of them. And it's probably the saddest parties I've ever been to. It looks really glamorous. It's amazing from the outside. The houses are just unbelievable, and the line, and they have like thousands of models and stuff, and so it's a very dramatic situation. But inside the party, if you think about it, okay, so let's say you have like 2,000 Instagram models and you have like 50 male, top celebrities. It sounds like something crazy is going on, but practically inside the party, what you have is a bunch of Instagram models who are worried to be photographed doing anything, wrong, basically. And you definitely have all those guys who are very worried to be photographed doing anything wrong. And so everyone's just standing around doing nothing, and it's like almost intolerable to me because everyone's just sitting and standing by themselves. These like unbelievably famous people, they're just standing around, they're not doing anything. Maybe they're just like,
shit, that sound like the clubs today. That's how it be when you go in the club, in a regular club. You don't see no dancing. You just see people standing around on their phone taking pictures, Snapchatting like it's super lit when it's really not, and just drinking. Like literally that's what goes on in the clubs today.
Slightly mingling, and then I'm like the only person who's just basically really trying to pump up the environment and dancing by myself to get people excited. But I stopped going for a good reason. It's not a fun thing to do. I do think that there are some more wild parties that you hear about when it comes to some of the tech billionaire guys, but in terms of actual celebrities, it's very rare. But yeah, that's as much as I can go into it right now.
So when you become an A-list celebrity, the only time you're ever going to be leaving your house is to go to work.
The only time they tend to leave their house, I would say, is if they have to. So for certain musicians, artists, they have to go on tour, which if you guys have ever really seen their videos of going on tour, it's an incredibly difficult experience where they can barely sleep. They have to go to multiple locations within 24 hours, and it's for many months nonstop. It's absolutely not pleasant at all for anyone who has to go through that.
Despite the controversies, Bieber launched his Purpose World Tour in 2017, 150 concerts across 40 countries in 16 months. But what fans saw, a visibly exhausted pop star on stage. Bieber abruptly cancels the final 14 shows, posting on Instagram, "Me taking this time right now is me saying I want to be sustainable. I want my career to be sustainable, but I also want..."
Hey, bro has been stressed. Like he been looking like he I don't know. We just gonna pray for Justin Bieber, man, cause like. Yeah, let's just keep going.
I want my mind, heart, and soul to be sustainable.
But come on, think about all the money, Jake. Cillian Murphy just got paid $10 million for Oppenheimer alone. That movie sucked, by the way. I will take tens of millions of dollars if it means I just have to stay home and have no friends. Well, think again. Most people think that money and fame go hand in hand, but that's far from the truth. In fact, most celebrities quickly end up broke. Think about it, they get one payday and then it's gone.
Most of the time, their income streams are very short-lived, so that maybe they have a movie that does well or they have one album, but it's a very stressful situation because if you've just suddenly made a large sum of income in one short time frame, what happens after that short time frame? Now you're like sitting around and you don't have new income coming in. Oftentimes, they become very financially stressed. I've never found a celebrity who's not extremely stressed about their income, even the ones that are multi-billionaires or whatever.
But it's not just the unpredictable paydays. It's that in between the unpredictable paydays comes a lot of unexpected expenses. A celebrity will make like $10 million in 1 year, but then the next year, their income could go to like literally zero. Is that correct?
And it's not just zero, it's actually quite in the negative because maybe they make the 10 million and then during that time their basic expenses go up. So even if, let's imagine you're not trying to live any sort of lavish lifestyle, very commonly you'll want to take care of your closest family members like your parents or your siblings or some of your close friends, and then your basic minimum expenditure each month, even if you're not living lavishly at all, and oftentimes you'll find with a lot of celebrities they really don't, but their expenses, and even whether it's on the paying lawyers, paying their accountants, paying their investors,
That's why you got to be financially literate. I'm sorry for stopping it. I'm just saying, this is why you got to be financially literate. Everything that they're saying is just for people who get a large lump sum of money and fame, and they don't have no idea of how money works. Because why, if I just got paid $10 million off a movie I did this year, am I gonna go sit there and spend that 10 million or anything out that 10 million to buy a house, buy a car, and buy anything of luxury before I pay down debt? That's like the only thing I might do out of that 10 million is pay debt, right? But people who have no sense of how money works will sit there and buy their family houses and splurge out that 10 million instead of understanding you got to use this money, which is a blessing, because shit, you could take 20,000 of that and invest that in stocks. You could take another, maybe let's say 100,000 and put that in real estate. You could take another 50,000 and buy Bitcoin. It's so much ways, not in this other like you can take another 150,000 out of that and put that to owning your own trucking company. It's little stuff like that. Using that money to make more money instead of, you know what I'm saying, to build you some reliable income instead of. This is how you become a millionaire still living check to check. But let's continue.
Whatever it might be, their basic expenses goes up so much during those times when they do make money that the second they stop making money, they're dramatically in the negative.
Britney Spears paid $17,000 per month just to transport her safely from place to place. Johnny Depp spends $150,000 per month on security for his children, and he pays another $300,000 to pay for his 40+ other staff members. He has multiple $1 million in debts. And then there's the lawsuits. Ah yes, when you're well known and people think you have money, the pathetic maggots are gonna come, trying to sue you for every stupid little reason they can think of. And even if they have more than enough money to cover all of this, they never feel financially secure.
Even the ones that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars or billions of dollars, practically speaking, because they usually didn't grow up like, ultra rich, they're always thinking about, what's their actual income. It's not this glamorous situation. I've never found a celebrity who's not extremely stressed about their income, even the ones that are multi-billionaires or whatever. If you're in their shoes, it's very hard to break from that habit of stressing about your income. And that applies to everyone, not just celebrities. I've never found someone, no matter how much money that they have, that genuinely feels like they're financially comfortable and safe. And that might just be, sort of a Western United States thing. That's another unfortunate reality. They're not living some sort of lifestyle where they're really happy and they feel like they're super rich and famous. It's more like, I'm stressed out about my finances and I can't trust anybody, and so what do I do? Functionally, the only answer is I'll just sit here at home alone.
So how do celebrities cope with all this solitude, all this pressure? Drugs. Usually a lot of drugs.
There was a time where I was sipping lean, I was popping pills, I was doing Molly, shrooms, everything, and it was just an escape for me.
The reality of situations is you can't, as a world, expect to break people down constantly and not expect them to want some type of escape. I don't have a mom I can call. I don't have a father I can call. I don't have my, like my aunt, who was the last thing that I had, is gone.
When you're a celebrity, you can get access to whatever substances you want, which leads to really tragic outcomes.
We're going to turn now to a major loss in the music world tonight. The gifted singer Amy Winehouse found dead in her London home. She was just 27. And so many people blogging and tweeting throughout the day today about an almost eerie coincidence. So many young music stars lost, and so many lost.
The actor Heath Ledger was found dead today in an apartment here in New York City. He was just 28 years old. The Australian-born actor came to huge prominence after his powerful performance in the film Brokeback Mountain.
6:30, they loaded the body of Michael Jackson onto that helicopter, and in just a couple of minutes they're making their final approach now to County USC Medical Center.
In the skies over Los Angeles, news crews track the helicopter carrying Michael Jackson's body. In death, the king of pop, just as much a figure of fascination as he was in life.
And here's the other irony, is that this fame is not gonna last forever. And when it's over, things usually get worse, not better. Depressed.
What does a 32-year-old retiree who's worth $100 million spend their days?
Miserable.
Really? You were miserable?
Yeah, because, you know, like any athlete, right? From the ages of 6, 7 years old, all we knew was one thing, hoop. Hoop school, right? Hoop summer, hoop play. What do we know? We haven't had a regular life. No matter how much money you have, if you don't have it, that's why when you hear someone, they'll be like, yeah, my parents still work.
Usually they go searching for the same rush they once had.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. That's true, cause like I ain't never been rich or famous or none of that, right? But I could say, like, as just an average person, like it seem like they really dealing with average people problems. Cause when I was in high school, I started varsity football as a sophomore up until I graduate. Well, up until my senior year, right? So after that, after high school, because I didn't end up going to college, even though I did get a scholarship to St. Paul, but I didn't go. I didn't take it. I felt like my mom needed my help at home, so I just got 2 jobs out of high school working at McDonald's and Applebee's, and I just helped my mom, right? God rest her soul. But I felt like I had to be, I felt like I had to get back to that greatness that I felt in high school, because like now I'm in the real world. I didn't feel like I had like was adding any value other than the value I was adding at home, right? So I started, you know what I'm saying? I started doing music. I started rapping. A few years after I got out of high school, and things started looking up. It started looking up. I don't think I went through like a depression stage at that point, because it was more of a transition mentally for me from like coming out of high school, getting into the reality of the real world. But I ended up pretty much, the music probably only lasted like 3 years, but it did pretty good, like for the little time that it was going on. Like in the city, it was going pretty good, right? When everything pretty much ended, I felt like I needed to get back to, like, I went through a real deep depression through all of it, because like I felt like, again, I wasn't where I felt like I was before. So I always felt the need to try to get back to that. So I'm just saying, that's just a little bit about me, but I'm also relating to what these people saying, because these are celebrities, but this is things, they're dealing with things that we deal with as average individuals, like as the so-called fans, as the so-called consumers. Like they deal with the same problems we deal with.
Some of them find healthy outlets, but many don't.
Let me answer why do I DJ. From 13 to 40, 3 times a week for an hour and a half, I would get adrenaline from people yelling and screaming. Good yelling, bad yelling, cheering, booing. It's just a part of me. When I stopped playing, I didn't have that. I get doses of it. Like I go on the rest, like I go on Nick and Sam's and I get a little clap, but that's only 30 seconds. Like, where's the rest? So I went to a concert one time and it was about 500,000 people that went to Tomorrowland in Atlanta. And that feeling came back. And I've been DJing since high school, since college. And I was like, I think I can do this, because the concept of the DJ and the athlete should be the same. This is my concept. When a person pays money to see you perform, give them a good show. Give them a good show.
Okay. Being a celebrity is not all it's cracked out to be. I see that now, Jake. So I'll just become a billionaire instead. I'll have all the money in the world with none of the fame. There. Well, not so fast.
Let's see what type of problems these dudes, the billionaires, be having.
Money without the fame. It sounds like a dream come true. But in reality, billionaires all deal with their own set of insecurities that gnaw at their soul.
You have a situation where this person is extremely rich, let's say, at least on paper or whatever it might be, and then they see all these random other dudes, especially on the internet, who are really famous, who aren't nearly as rich, and so then they're super jealous and annoyed at all these sort of fake rich guys out there who get all the fame and the attention, and so you have all these sort of billionaires who are typically sad that no one knows who they are. It's not like you can walk around the street if you're not a famous, billionaire. It's not like you can walk around the street and people bow down to you as if they know who you are, and they wish they could get some respect from people because they're some sort of a big time silent success.
Think about it. What if this guy walked past you on the streets? Would you recognize him? Of course not. He looks like another generic old dude. Are you gonna run up to him and say how much of a big fan you are of him while he's out on a date with a girl he's trying to impress? No. But you wanna know who this man is? That's Amancio Ortega, the man behind Zara with a net worth of $90 billion.
Wow.
And here's the thing. Even if these billionaires wanted to get famous, they literally can't.
It's a big negative for them to be well known for many different reasons. Oftentimes that has to do with how they actually became a billionaire, but definitely, if they become well-known billionaire, then they're just going to get sued all day, every day by random people. It's very common for them to have to spend tens of millions of dollars, just protecting themselves from all these frivolous lawsuits, and it's just not a safe thing for most billionaires. So practically speaking, the odds that you're going to want to be well known as a billionaire is very low, but then at the same time, it's this weird irony where you wish everybody knew you and respected you, and so then you treat everyone kind of poorly, for lack of a better term, because you wish they respected you oftentimes, but they don't. So that's what it's like to deal with billionaires, to deal with just famous people. It has much more to do with sort of the COVID loneliness, and you almost kind of just feel sad for them, and then they're stressed out because they're worried about their income. And the billionaires, that's the other thing. The one big overlap is both of them are extremely worried about their income all the time. But the type of misery is a little bit different. The celebrity is more like a loneliness misery, and the billionaires, it's more like a yearning for respect, and so it's not particularly pleasant dealing with them, at least from my experiences. Obviously there are exceptions, for anyone watching this, still work with.
So billionaires got a problem with if they're not known as being a billionaire, people don't respect them, so they treat people bad. But if they are known as a billionaire for who they are, then they got to worry about lawsuits and got to pay a whole bunch of money to be protected from said lawsuits. Yeah, that's a effed up decision, choice of options, right? Or you could just not treat people bad because you're not known, and you what level of respect do you? I get it. If I'm a billionaire, you're not just finna talk to me any old kind of way because you don't know. I don't know. I sound like I might be one of them a-holes if I, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
On the billionaire side, but yeah, generally speaking, this is the case. So if extreme wealth sucks, if extreme fame sucks, what doesn't suck? Is there a way to achieve the money and fame without making your life miserable? Well, as it turns out, there is a happy medium you can shoot for.
I think it's great to be narrowly famous within a very specific niche. For example, if you are a YouTuber, or if you are even a singer, whatever it might be, if you have an audience, and it's not even ideally it's not an insanely large audience, 10,000 people love you, so to speak, online or wherever. Those are the people that really have the best situation, where they just get to deal with their true fans, and they don't really interact with them in person all that much, but like their online interactions are nice, and then in real life they get to just experience real life whenever they want to. And then if they really, really want to, they can just create some sort of fan specific experience once a year and have that as a very fun thing to do or something like that. But they get to have the best of both worlds, in my opinion, which is like they get to have a normal real life and not deal with any of the problems, and at the same time they know that there's thousands of people out there who do really love them and their content, and there's no real downside. So
was that
they get to have the best of both worlds, in my opinion, which is like they get to have a normal.
Is that Tom Cruise on a train, and this man he chilling like he don't need no car? That's why that's why celebrities stay out the way, because of people like me. I'm gonna recognize you, and I'm gonna make it known. I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna be yelling at you across the street like you my cuz. Hey, God. No, I'm lying. I take that back. I'm joking, y'all. I don't be glazing. I don't be fanned out. I done seen a couple celebrities, especially when I lived in California. I done seen a couple NFL players, a couple actors, but I never said, like, I tell my girl, I tell her like, that's woo. You feel me? But I wouldn't never say nothing to the person, which I probably, in hindsight, I probably feel like I should have spoke to him and like, just been a fan and got that engagement and that, that moment. But at the end of the day, I do be respecting people privacy, so I just don't be running up on people. It don't matter how famous you is. I ain't finna run up on you and just be trying to speak to you all crazy, because, you know what I'm saying? Also, I come from a place where you don't speak unless you spoken to. Like, when somebody speak to me, then I speak back, but I don't know. Let's go.
Real life and not deal with any of the problems, and at the same time they know that there's thousands of people out there who do really love them and their content, and there's no real downside. So I think that's a nice happy medium. But you never know, like if you're just good at becoming famous, then you're probably just gonna keep getting more famous. I would say that,
like that guy right there, I wouldn't have been able to do that. Gang.
There are two routes that I found that work. You really do find some sort of work where you genuinely enjoy the work regardless of the income. But it is still, something that's a profession, meaning you really can make an income from it. I've generally found that, like, almost for most professions, if you really do like it, it is very doable to at least, get into six figures in income. Let's even say you love doing video editing. You can work for one person as a video editor, or you can, multiply yourself and work for a few people as a video editor. So there's always a way to increase your income over time, regardless of what profession you really like. Same thing with software engineers, same things with any profession, really. You can scale yourself ideally to get to a point where you can get six figures. That's one route. The other route, I would say, is where if you really do just care about money, if you can get to a point where your focus is on having predictable, consistent income, but you don't have to work that much, that's kind of the best route. Oftentimes that might be that you create some sort of business, and eventually you hire some people to take over the work that you're doing, but you just scale it to a point where it makes, however much money is a lot of money. Practically speaking, if you are really focused on just money, the better thing to do is maybe get to seven figures and reduce your workload so that you can enjoy the seven figures.
And the reason why Arvid was able to come to this conclusion is because he literally had to explore all these different avenues himself.
So how'd you realize all of this? Like, because you're like super knowledgeable about the celebrity world and the billionaire world and this world of like scaling up your income. So how'd you come to this conclusion?
I was mostly obsessed from a very young age to just figure out how I can retire early, because I myself was actually depressed since the age of 5. So my obsession was like, okay, I hate school. I never want to work. First went into Silicon Valley, and then I was like, oh, this is cool. You know, all these young people are getting rich here. You know, I can get rich as a young person. And for me, it ended up being I created a consulting firm in Silicon Valley where I served as a consultant to around 50 to 55 super fast growing startups. 6 of them ended up becoming worth well over $1 billion. And I helped a lot of those companies out at the early stages. And then after doing the consulting firm, I then got into the sort of Hollywood celebrity world just by accident. But it worked out for me because it fulfilled a lot of my requirements. I was like, okay, this is great. I can get even richer being in this world of celebrities. And I get like these celebrity name attachments to make my parents happy with me. So it ended up working out well because there aren't that many people with the Silicon Valley background that went into the Hollywood space. So I had a unique advantage in going in there and helping out a lot of celebrities using all the knowledge that I got from seeing so many Silicon Valley companies do so well and realize exactly what they did right, what they did wrong, and be able to bring that into the Hollywood celebrity business space. And mostly celebrities, because they make so much money, they have a lot of different businesses that they either create or are involved in as an investor. And so it was an easy transition actually. And then from there, I ended up sort of thinking like, okay, this is cool. What else am I missing? Because at that point I was just like, I kind of want to just see what other parts of the world or aspects of the world that I'm missing. And the rest to me was with both politics and with billionaires. So then I became an advisor to those groups of people more recently. And
all right, so they just talk about him now. So we just gonna end that off on that. But I'm gonna leave my little remarks right here. I'm gonna just say, man, if you chasing the dream and you whether it be TikTok, Instagram, whatever type of fame you might amass from chasing your dream and accomplishing your goals, make sure I would just say take care of your mental health, because that is first. And as somebody who deals with bouts of, I guess you could call it depression, because when you're chasing a goal that doesn't really have a outline, a structured outline, or a definitive timeline where you will seek and reap any rewards, that can get frustrating at times. You get what I'm saying? It's a lot that come with that too. You might not feel like you're getting the support you need. You might feel like I'm investing so much time, energy, and effort into something and my money because you want quality into something, and I'm not getting no rewards for it. That could be depressing. It can make you feel away, but that drive within yourself got to keep you strong mentally to stay focused on what you're trying to do, because you don't want to give up. And not seeking, also I would say, not seeking validation from people. Work on your mental health and not seeking validation from people, but validate yourself. Do things that you feel are accomplishments to you. I mean, that's just my opinion. This was a great video. Thank y'all for tuning in and rocking with me on this video, man. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and shout out Jake Tran for that video. I'm gonna leave the link to the original video in my description box, and I'm gonna also leave the links to my other 3 YouTube channels, because I do other content as well. So feel free to slide over on those channels, man, and let me know where you coming from. Just let me know you coming from this channel, or where you coming from where you seen my videos at. But till next time, man, thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all already know who it is. Project Shlum, Lord King of the Shlum Business. Buns. I'm out.
Me and muddy, that's just what I like. I be sipping on mud. Bitch, I come from the mud.